We grow a lot of cilantro, and I like to grow it more as a microgreen when we're growing it indoors. And there's a trick to getting the seeds to germinate more consistently and more evenly. These little kernels that you usually see, the coriander seeds that come from the cilantro plant, take a while to absorb enough fluid and water from the growing medium to break through this hard outer shell. And so one trick that I've found really useful is to take those seeds and just gently put them in a mortar and pestle and roll around inside and start to break up that outer seed. If that shell gets broken, the water gets directly to the actual seed and your germination starts much more quickly, much more evenly. And I'm not sure of this, but I think there may be more than one cilantro seed inside of each of these seed pods, so you can actually spread your plants out more by breaking these shells open so that they grow in a more even distribution. And so we've gone from all the round little shells to more of an open seed pod. There are still a few in there that need to be broken open, but that's the basic idea, is to get it to a consistency that you can spread evenly over the surface of your growing medium and to get even germination. You can grow cilantro in a flat, you can grow it in a long pot, or you can split it up into smaller pots like this. I found this real handy because I can cut down on the amount of soil that I need by putting another pot in upside down, and it creates a vacuum. And the cilantro don't mind that at all. They don't have a terribly deep root system, and so it doesn't need to go all the way to the bottom. We don't want to pack that too tightly, but that is pretty much ready to go, and there's a cavity in there that's no soil at all, so it's a good way to save on some potting mix. Now that I've got my soil prepped and I've got my seeds broken down with the mortar and pestle, it's just a process of just getting them evenly distributed over the surface of the growing medium. And you just throw the shells in with the seeds. Don't worry about that, they'll get distributed evenly. And I'm going to cover this whole surface like this, and I'd say this is about maybe a half of a teaspoon worth of uncrushed shells for a pot that's 8 to 10 inches in diameter. So that'll give you a nice distribution of your seeds, and that's that step. I like to put a very light covering of growing medium over the top, just a sprinkle, to make sure that all those little seeds are in good contact with the moisture in the growing medium. Hopefully improves the germination just a little bit. Not a lot, but just enough to give you a little bit of a covering. All said, maybe a 1/16 of an inch. And we just spread that around a little bit so very few of the seed shells are showing, and then it is ready to water in. And I don't want those seed shells to move around very much, so I'm going to use this bottle, the spray bottle technique. Once you have a good layer of moisture, all you need to do is just cover to hold that moisture in. And this is ready to go on a shelf. It can be in the dark initially. Once you see your little sprouts coming through, you do want to apply light to help them take off healthy. And that is really all we need to do to get this pot of cilantro started. The cracked seeds germinate very quickly, and by day 6 you can see seedlings poking through. By day 9 we have the cotyledons opening, and by day 14 the pots are starting to fill in. This is much quicker than if you planted the whole uncracked seed. By day 21 we have 3 pots of cilantro that are all ready for harvest. We expect to get 3 cuttings from each of these pots.